Hello and welcome back to Shakhtar to Glory, episode 106. And the series is officially finished. It's over and done with. I'm doing a lot of hand gestures suggesting that it's finished and done. You can't see that because I'm still not with a camera yet. But yeah, we are done. So what I'm going to do, with the bit of a jumble with the finals episode. If you haven't watched them, go back and watch them now. Great end to the series. I mean, couldn't have asked for much better. I mean, to lose that Man United game would have been absolutely disastrous, losing on a loss. If it had been that way, it'd been that way. But thankfully, we pulled through and just carried on. What an amazing season! I think we won. I think they in the news saw it was a sextuple or something. What's that? Like 6 trophies. Not sure where that comes from. No, it is. Yeah, it's the Charity Shield, the League, the Super Cup, the World Club Cup, the Kubok Ukraine and the Champions League. Yes, six trophies. So great haul this season. If I'm not an icon or a legend by now, I don't know what it's going to take. Obviously, the World Club Cup or the Super Cup, I think, pushed me into icon. I don't know if the others are enough to push me up. But we didn't, with that confusion, we didn't look at a few things. I didn't look at the end of the league table. I didn't look at the top goal scorer, stuff like that in the Champions League and the league. So we're going to do a quick little bit of that before we jump into 5 years. I've got to simulate the game 5 years on. I don't know how long that's going to take with this computer, and being quite this far into the save makes it run a bit slower anyway. But finally, we do move up a position in the rankings in the league. We are now in 9th position from 10th. Don't think that makes a massive difference. Premier League is still the best. And let's see, Ukraine rising coefficients. So we have the overtake. We overtake Turkey finally in 9th. We get one team in the group stage, which we already had. Best third qualifying phase, so we get 1 now when it was none. And best placed second qualifying phase, 0 when it was 1. So that has just jumped up 1 place. We've gone through in the qualifying 1 stage. Europa League, straight into the group stage, that's fine. Third qualifying round 1 team and second qualifying round 1 team. So that hasn't changed, I don't think. And as a club, we are now moved up 5 places to 2nd position as the best clubs in Europe. Is there a way of looking at this? Man United are the best team. I don't know how. They haven't won that many Champions Leagues. They haven't won that many leagues. I'm not sure what's going on. But we've jumped, to 5 places to 2nd. I mean, is it up here? You check that. European rankings. Right, that's... Are we actually... Right, that's reputation. So we're the most reputable club in Europe, despite the fact we still struggle getting some players through the door. Absolutely incredible. I mean, to be fair, some more. I think there was a player who, at the end, in the middle of the season, I think I talked about trying to get. We couldn't get him. The news story came up about him again, or my scouting report came up after the Champions League game, and I put in a bid. He accepted, and he's happy to talk. So that's going through. I think he's signed. But we'll have a look at the transfers I've set up for after my departure, which will be coming soon. I've got to go a couple more days, but I just wanted to bring that news about these news stories. Basically, if anything crops up between now and then while I'm resigning, then I will obviously show that as well. I'll jump in before I resign, and I'll do the whole resigning thing as well. So if we go to the Premier League, it's in the playoff stage at the moment. So we go to the league table. We ended up, what's that? 23 points clear of Zoya, who do finish second probably for the first time. I think Kiev have pretty much always finished second, and Kiev get third, 10 points, 11 points behind Zoya, and 10 points here the fourth. Shannon Moretz, Alexandria finished bottom. I mean, they were one of the better teams at the top half for a good few years. Cedric Drouet gets the most goals in a season for us, 27. It overtakes 22 by, I forget his name, Borakier. I saw the news story. Not surprising because we did rotate a lot, and Drouet did play a lot of league game football, which maybe Borakier was playing a bit more of a stuff as well. Yekevlev, the young lad, gets 14 goals and finishes second. I mean, this guy is going to be fantastic. I wish I had him a bit earlier on in the save. He is incredible. And we had Collod come through, and he's the player I thought Collod was going to be. Heiko Lenhardt gets third, and he's on loan from us. German striker. I think we bought him from Braunschweig. He's had a couple of good seasons on loan, so he might be someone. Obviously, he's not down to us. We're not going to be here. So he might break in next year. Be interesting to see who gets in the squads. Cedric Drouet, Lukinov, And Kazakov, is he on loan from us? He is on loan from us, attacking midfielder right. I think I tried to sell him because we don't play the wingers and he's not really convertible. He probably could be convertible, but maybe not so much. Assists, Capellan, he's nothing to do with us. Mohamed on 10 and Yao da Silva on 10. So players that didn't play a huge amount of league football. Yao da Silva possibly did. Player of the match, Drouet, Header Leonhardt, and Mabar is ours as well. He's the Equatorial Guyanan player. We're trying to sell him purely because he's not good enough for our team. He's an attacking midfielder, but he's got good determination. He's still got potential to do something, and he's doing quite well in the league. He's had a couple of good loan spells as well, I think. So yeah, clean sheets. We're not in there purely because we played a lot of different goalkeepers in the league. Olsen of Kiev gets that. One clear Kudryk was our old goalkeeper, but Zoya finished second, so he was a big part of that. He probably just wasn't quite good enough for us. We had better coming through, but Lunin didn't play a lot of it, etc. So, no more news really came up, other than the fact we've got Bayern Munich in the Super Cup, which will be on the 15th of August, so a couple of months away yet. Don't know where the venue is. It's normally, well, it certainly used to be in Monaco. It's going to be St Mary's in Southampton, so interesting. Is it more rotated now? I know it always used to be at, is it Stadium Louis or Prince Louis or the Third or something? The Monaco's ground, the car park underneath it and all that. But yeah, playing Bayern, a few friendlies arranged. But I wanted to do everything tied up sort of before, skipping forward before the 28th of June, because that's when pre-season starts. I want to give Shakhtar a little bit of time to sort of try and get someone in. There are some friendlies starting in June, mostly starting in July, but we'll want to give them time to get a new manager in, bed in, do what he's got to do, and also maybe try and get out a little bit before the window opens, so I'm not responsible for any transfers going out. Had a couple of bids, I've rejected them. I don't want it to be my decision whether they stay or whether they go, so just rejected. Let the next manager deal with that, and we'll see. Let it go, happen organically. So I think that's the best way of looking at it. Now, the only other thing I wanted to look at was some transfers. Like I say, we did have some arranged to come in. So Zerzen, get there finally, was wanted. There was a few others, I forget. But we are going to look at transfer history, future transfers. So Machalek is going to Vorskla on a free. I knew that already. That hasn't happened recently. It's been low much hasn't really cracked on to be the player I thought he would be. I think he had a couple of long injuries, so it was always going to happen. Now this was a big player. He's a wonder kid already. We're signing in for 1.2 million. Well, he's a free transfer, but it's actually compensation. His contract run down. We've finally got him to be interested. We just scouted him like crazy. We went to every game, this, that and the other. Finally he agreed to come, and he's going to be a fantastic player. He comes in on the 1st of July, so he'll be in this season. Fantastic signing. An old boy, Stepanenko, is back, gives us the extra, I say us, nothing to do with me, model professional, gives us another homegrown player. I think he's an old Shakhtar boy, possibly, I'm fairly sure he is, but he left us to Man City for 26.5, went to Arsenal for 32, and then we've managed to get him, still Shakhtar, on a free transfer. His contract's run down. He wants a lot of wages, but he was worth it. I think he can train a lot of people at the very least for the new manager. This one is very exciting. Dentinho, another wonder kid, another Brazilian striker. Probably are going to see a few of them leave this season. Zuri Alberto is wanted. Paulinho is wanted. He has got an injury for, I think, 2 months now, so that might scupper the move, the transfer happening. I'm not too sure. There's going to be a few players. Baggio's just got his first Brazil cap, so that might drum up a bit of interest in him. I don't know how he got on. I didn't really look. I'm not really interested at this stage. It doesn't affect me too much. But this guy, he's been getting goals in Brazil already. 40 and 82. That's not a bad return for such a young lad. He's going to be a good player, and I think they'll struggle to keep hold of him. I don't know if he's going to have a minimum fee. Domestic, 28.5. I mean, who cares? He's the one that wouldn't sign, but as soon as I won the Champions League, went in, he was interested. Funny that, isn't it? And the final one is another Argentinian. Not a wonder kid, but I'm sure he will be. He's rated, I think, 4.5 potential. Thomas Banega needs a bit of work on his pace, but he's got good determination, fairly professional. That's okay. Tackling, marking, heading. He's 6'1". I think he could be a very good player. He joins. When does he join? He joins in the January. So all these join in about a week. So interesting to see, but I'm not going to be around for that, unfortunately. So we'll see how they get on as the series progresses, perhaps. We'll do obviously this is the 5 years for this point, so a lot of these players will be relevant within that space of time. We've looked at sort of the league and what's happened. We looked at the transfers. So what we are going to do now is we're going to look and see if we are a legend first of all. It is in general, I believe. It is. So I'm not a legend. We are an icon. I think we were anyway. We've moved very high up the list. So if I'm right in saying that these are in order of how popular they are, we are 1 or 2 more to go into being a legend. So one more season would have got us that legend status, I'd imagine, if we'd had a good run, this, that and the other. Let's have a look at the finances, actually, because there's been a lot of talk about that. 245 in the bank, 186 transfer budget. They did mention a 250 million transfer budget, but there's been, I think, 40 million paid to directors, a big tax bill just because of the money we made this season, 2.25 million wage budget, of which we are spending nowhere near that really. A few peaks and troughs on the profit and loss, but on the whole, a lot of money won past the. I mean, look at that, just increase. I mean, a lot of that was obviously prize money towards the end. We did get a lot of prize money, but we sold a lot of players in here as well. So yeah, that's in here as well, wasn't it? I think we sold something like 220, 230 million pounds worth of players. So that was always going to do that. And if I'd been able to sell everyone I wanted to, it probably would have been close to 300, probably more. And they're probably going to have probably just as big a sale outlay this year, but probably players they don't really want to lose, and probably would be first team players and keep, but might struggle to keep them, might not with the enhanced reputation, and depending who they get in as manager. So what we're going to do now, I am going to resign. If I can remember, I haven't done this for a very long time. My profile, retire. So I've done what I wanted to do. Basically, I just wanted to save it as a new file, because I probably am going to carry on with this Shakhtar save a little bit offline myself. I'm going to create a separate save file to do the 5 years on, the 10 years on, where I'm retired. I want to have my original save file where if I have a bit of time, I might just play it a little every now and then and just maybe go a little bit longer, but just not record it or document it or anything. It's going to be ending, because I might get a little bit of an itch, but I'm going to rest and do some other stuff before FM19, but it's there if I need it, so I don't want to just jeopardise it and have my manager sacked off. So we can now go on and retire. My manager has changed colour for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on. We're on 10k by the time we leave, so double Champions League winning manager is on 10k. Jurgen Klopp has the best opinion of us. Sarri has quite a good opinion of us. Pellegrini, a few others. Jose Mourinho hates us, as does most of the player managers in the league, it seems. What did we do? What did we win? So, milestones, competitions. Is there a better way of seeing it? Not too sure. Biography, perhaps? No. So, we won the Kubok Ukraini. We won the league. We won the Kubok Ukraini. We won the Super Kubok Ukraini. Oh, that was the Super. That's the Charity Shield. Yep. We won the Premier League. I mean, we won most things, most seasons. Super Cup in there. Champions League 2022. Fantastic. We obviously got the runners-up in 2021? Yeah, 2021. We also lost to Real Madrid. Got our own back in 2022. And then won it again in 2023, beating Manchester United. Won the league, won the Kubok Ukraini, and that will be it. Transfers, that's individual awards, Worldwide Hall of Fame. So that happened this year. So I'll have a look at that actually. How do we do that? Is it in here? Hall of Fame. We jump in at number 11 behind Otmar Hitzfeld, Arsene Wenger, Unai Emery, Bob Paisley, Trapattoni, Lucescu, Pep Guardiola, Carlo Ancelotti, Jose Mourinho, and Alex Ferguson. We are quite some way behind number 1, a little bit behind the 10th spot. Who are we ahead of? Van Gaal, Allegri. A few big names, to be fair. And let's see, this has a bit more of a breakdown, doesn't it? So we won 5 Kubok Ukrainis, we won 6 Premier Leagues, we won 4 Super Cup. So what's that? 5. So that's the 5. The Kubok Ukraini is the cup. So 2 Champions Leagues, 1 World Club Cup, 1 UEFA Cup, 6 Premier League, 5 FA Cup equivalents, 4 Charity Shield equivalents. Great haul. So we won 6 domestic divisions, 5 domestic cups, 4 other cups, no internationals. No one. Oh no, Arsene Wenger's won 3 international trophies. What did he win? Oh, in the game, of course. I was thinking what's going on there, but he obviously went to France, went to Monaco. He won the European Cup, the World Cup, and the Confederations Cup. So quite a big haul for him. So, but yeah, we're going to retire. That is us done for this save. We can retire now peacefully. What are we in the game actually? I'm just delaying it. I don't want to do it. My profile at 41 years old. I'm 36 in real life. So yeah, what's that? 6 years on? No, 5 years on. Great maths skills. See the press and Moise assistant. Yep, that's fair enough. Always open to players. Yep, international footballer, global. Picked up Russian. Picked up Ukrainian. Didn't go out of that range too much. Yeah, we did not too badly in this save, did we, in this series? So games played 294, won 245, and that's incredible. Drawn 25, lost 24. So we actually lost, we won a huge deal. Obviously in the league, we expect that. That's a big percentage. Drew more than we lost, which is incredible. 911 for, 225 against, 686 goal difference, and a win percentage of 83%. Not bad if I do say so myself. A lot of those losses and bringing that down is the Champions League games early on where we were getting knocked out, quite early on. So we're finally going to do it. We're going to retire. Retire from football for immediate effect. There we go. I assume I have to create another new manager. So I'm going to create a Tim Pot manager. And then we can view everything and holiday through. So once I've managed to holiday that 5 years, I'll be back for the summary and the breakdown of it. See you soon. Back. I've managed to go through the 5 years. I've also done the 10 years as well. So I'll be recording that as soon as I get a chance. So it's going to whiz through this really. It doesn't have to be too in-depth. It's only 5 years, and the next one is only another 5 years, and there's probably not too much to dwell on really in the context of this save. So, I guess first things first is to just jump into Shakhtar Donetsk and see what they've been doing. So they've kept on winning. Current manager is Brendan Rodgers. Captain is Paulinho. Is it the same Paulinho that we had? I think it is. It is. We'll look at players and stuff as we go through. Thomas Lamar is vice captain and key player, so they've made some big money saves. We're still rich, 5-star reputation, which I think is what we were when we left, so that's good. The stadium doesn't seem to have gone up anymore. Still the Donbass Arena, so still there. Still the Champions League is the continental competition. So I guess we'll look at the managers. We see Brendan Rodgers is there. Let's see if he's been there since we left. He has, so he's still there. Hasn't left. He's won 5 leagues. We won 6. He's won 7 cups. We won 13. So he's done pretty well. He's been there 5 years, just a year less than us, really. So that's not as much as I thought there was going to be. So we'll have a look at transfers, transfer history. So I think we left 23, 24. Yes. So these are the up to. I think all these we brought in apart from. Oh my god. Wow, okay, so, yeah, we signed this guy. He was the young Brazilian. We'll take a quick look. Is he still there? He's at Chelsea now. So we signed him for 29 million. No, we didn't. We signed him for 2.7. He left a year or two later for Barcelona for 29, and then to Chelsea from there for 101. That is a crazy transfer. Stepanenko we brought back. He's now manager. He was there for another year or two. Again, went to Celtic and saw out his career there. So made quite a bit of money on him over the couple of spells. Dentinho was the young wonder kid striker we brought in. He's also at Chelsea. That's absolutely ridiculous. 3 seasons at Shakhtar. Did very well for 11.5 million. His last season there particularly. Then he went for 33 million. And he's been banging them in there as well pretty much. So good signing from us in the long run. And Thomas Benega. He's back at Velez. He didn't really make it, I guess. Went to Cruzeiro on loan, and then 17 odd million sale back, so a bit of profit on him. Has he made the national team? Not really, so he didn't maybe kick on. He was one I wasn't sure if he was going to, but scouts seemed to like him, so we took a punt. And then Thomas Lamar for 208 million. He's 32 now. Yeah, he's worth it, isn't he? He's done absolutely fantastic. Obviously gone back to, I guess, wingers with them involved. So who was the big outs here? So Alberto went eventually to Atletico Madrid for 44, rising to 60. Hurtado went to Man City. They made a lot of money here. 327 million against the 227 in, of which 208 wasn't even me. Petrak, we expected to go. He did join Chelsea in the end. Yakovlev went to Milan. He was the young. I'm surprised he went so soon. Oh, okay, interesting. So he went to Milan. Did quite well, 34.5. Went to Lille, of all places, for 42 million. Smashed the goals in still, and then went back to Shakhtar eventually for 43, where he still is, and he's banging in the goals still. This guy, 20 goals in 52 games for Ukraine. Not as big as I thought it would be, but still pretty decent. Who else was the big outs? Baggio went to Barcelona for 34 million. Right, let's see, are they all still here? So he's still Atletico Madrid. How's he done? Yeah, he's done okay. He's not done too bad, not amazingly, but he might be playing more as a wide player at Atletico. Hurtado is still there at Man City. Really not doing very well. Isn't really playing. that's a shocker. That really is a bit of a shocker there. He was one of the best midfielders we had. Petrak went to Chelsea. He is still at Chelsea as well. Again, not the best ratings, and the last couple of years has faded out of the team. So, yeah, that's a bit of a strange scenario. Baggio is now at Liverpool. So he had 3 years at Barcelona, 34 million. Didn't really feature, and he hasn't really done it at Liverpool either. So we're seeing a lot of players leaving Shakhtar and not having the careers they maybe should be having. Valladares, the centre-back, went to Real Madrid. He's done very well. I expected him to do very well. He's an incredible player. He is elite centre-back. He probably was when we had him. He was fairly highly rated when we had him. To go to Real Madrid and do what he's done, I'd say, yeah, absolutely. This is just the first season. This is crazy. Yalda Silva went to Chelsea, 30 million, the young academy project. He's now at Southampton, 20 million. Not really hit the heights. If he'd have stayed with us under my management, I think he'd have been our number one right back for a good few years, emulating kind of Dario Serna in sort of legendary status, I guess. Hamid went to Juventus. He is still there. Hit and miss. I mean, again, a player that maybe overperformed for us. He's still there. Yeah, Spesh has gone to Bayern. He's still at Bayern. He's doing very well. Again, not surprisingly, 23 million, so double your money on him after a few years. Trabelsi went to, I mean, some of the big names went very early on to big clubs. Barcelona, he's still there. Only 16 million, which is surprising, but he hasn't really delivered. So that's a strange one. Sumaharo went to Krasnodar, of all people. I had him down as a training centre-back. He is kind of there. 36 million now at Tottenham. He was there at Krasnodar for a good few years. He's been to Tottenham. Hasn't really kicked on maybe the way. We signed him for 1.4 from ASEC, sold him for 14, and they sold him for 13. I'm hoping a lot of these deals have like future sales involved, because there's a lot of money to be had there for Shakhtar in those deals. He's now at CSKA. We tried to get rid of him, we couldn't. No one wanted him, despite his golden boot in the Champions League the first year we won it. Was it the first year we won it? I think it was. It went for 8.25 in the end. He did pretty well at Bournemouth, and then got his move on a free to CSKA, and yeah, he's still there, probably still going. What is he, 32 now? Yeah, 32. Still going strong. They have kept their position now. Lenny Antoine, I don't recognise him. I think he was a goalkeeper. Young Belgian goalkeeper. He wasn't at Shakhtar for long by the looks of it before Rodgers moved him along. He's gone back to Anderlecht and done okay. What's going on here? There we go. Givitsov went to Sociedad. No other big names there, I don't think. Stephen Gray went out. These are all loans. Any frees? 1-3. Makalek went to Vorskla. I think we knew about that before. So nothing too big there. So into the next season, they signed Audet's back from Lille. He's now retired, and his history hasn't saved, unfortunately. They signed this guy for 105 million centre back. I mean, he's elite centre back. I don't think he's better than some of the players that Valladares they let go. I mean, obviously when Real Madrid come in, they were harder to keep hold of, but he has done very well. So yeah, fair enough on him. But 105 million. I mean, considering that sort of money wasn't paid for the players that we had going out, it's a bit surprising. So we're seeing, yeah, we knew about that already. Perdomo went to Bayern. He was a wonder kid for a little while. He went on loan to Monaco. He's gone to Bayern, and he's good average ratings, but he's not really hit the heights, has he? Bit of a familiar theme. Chain has gone to Man United. He's now at Shanghai in China. So he went on loan to Napoli for that first season, and then he went out to Man United, and then 50 million they made for him. Wow. Okay. Fair enough. China, with the money comes calling, it's very hard to resist. Roffo went to Lille. Tello went to Sevilla, only 11.5 million. He was the best centre-back. He's wanted now. He's now at Everton, wanted by Arsenal. He's had a little bit of a roam around. 11.5, 5 million, 12. This guy was phenomenal for us. Absolutely phenomenal. Javier Tello. That's a bit surprising. We had Adir's gone to there, to CSKA. Lukačević gone to Watford. Yaremchuk, he was a bit older by that point. Strand Larsen went for 4 million. Figueiredo's gone back to Brazil. Free Kucha was a young player, wasn't really going to make it, and a few loans. Nothing to dwell on there. But again, 124 in, 126 out. Maintaining that money is a lot more going out. So I left them with a healthy, even if the players Rodgers didn't want, he didn't bring many in, but he let a lot go. I mean, there was a lot of dead wood in the squad, we know that. 25, 26, they signed just one guy on a free transfer. Young Ukrainians, I mean, I guess they needed some Ukrainian players, but he's gone already. Didn't make an appearance, not surprising. And who went out this season? Matasan eventually left the PSG for 46 million. He's still there. Yeah, class player, absolutely class. Stepanenko went to Celtic. Oh no, we're not in order here. Campino, 34, 53 million to Barcelona. I mean, elite striker. His numbers don't suggest that. He did well for us, but yeah, not so much for. I think they must have loaned it. Rodgers loaned him out, and then he had another 2 seasons back. Did well, but not since he's gone to Barcelona, it seems. We've got Dentinho eventually left for Chelsea. I think we looked at him, didn't we? Yeah, we did. We got Lorena eventually left Sevilla, 15 million. He never made a game for us. He was on loan, I think, to Zoya quite a lot. Yeah, Zoya for a couple of seasons. Came back in the fold under Rodgers, and then he sort of flitted around a little bit. Ended up at Seville. Done okay, but not amazing. Who else we got? Milan didn't really make it into the team. He got to Juventus though. Still there, midfielder. We signed him from Club Nacional Uruguay. Yeah, he had a few loans, I think, under us. We brought him in, but he didn't really make it. Then they loaned him to Gremio. Come back into the first team, and then 22 million to Juventus, and he's been there since and done pretty well as well, to be fair. We know about Benega. I'm trying to Lukinov. He was linked with Man United, I think Real Madrid, a few other big clubs. He is a big club now, but via PSV. So Shakhtar sold him to PSV for 11.5, who then doubled their money. More than doubled their money a year later. Again, not quite doing it, but this guy was like the big Ukrainian hope. He was the best Ukrainian. Him, Yakovlev, and we had the other guy who were training in centre midfield, so I'm going to try and keep an eye out for him. A young German striker went back. We know about Stepanenko. Was he the other goalkeeper we brought in? He was 20 caps, but didn't really make it. Went back to Dynamo Zagreb and got his big move again to Sevilla, where he is number 1 and doing okay. And I think we got 2 more seasons of this. Oh, we didn't look at the ins, did we? Too much. Or Debts, okay, we looked at him. Oh, we did look at the ins, sorry. Then the ins again, a few more free transfers. Golovin, is he an older one? No. He's still at Shakhtar. Not really playing too much. Grushenko, he's still at Shakhtar with about 13 million now, so he's doing quite well. He's replaced Lukacevic by the looks of it as the new right back. 56 million for this guy from Ajax. He's now at PSG. So Ajax, 56 million. Big transfer. Made a loss on him, actually, despite him playing really well. I wonder if that was a minimum fee. Release clause, perhaps. And then we got Demidov. Sounds like a Russian name, but he is Ukrainian. Zoya went to Gladbach on a free for 1 season and came back for 32 million nearly. So that's a big deal there. A winger who's done quite well with the goals. And then we got Kavlev, we knew came back. And in terms of outs here, we'll probably start seeing these. See, I don't know who this guy is. Did he come through? I don't remember signing this. Did I sign? I signed this guy. I don't recognise his name. He must have been in the youth team for a little while before we brought him up. I think we must have signed him at 16, 17. Something like that. But he's gone to Chelsea in the end for 37 million. It's quite a lot of big profit there. So again, what we're looking at, 48 in. Okay, 123 out this time. And then, yeah, we know about the ins. Yurchenko, he was the other one, wasn't he? So he's at Olympiacos, of all people, for 3.6. We were training him to be a centre midfielder, though he was a winger. And I think he's better than 3.6 in both positions, but maybe we hampered him back, retraining him maybe. That's a possibility. Whereas he was better being a winger. But we weren't playing wingers, so we didn't need to. Vente didn't really make it into the first team. Bomraf wasn't quite there. He was the young goalkeeper, the Ukraine. No, he's not. He's a winger. Okay, so ignore him. We didn't really see him. I thought it was the young goalkeeper. No, that's Lazarev, wasn't it? Ordets went to Shakhtar. Shrom, a few loans again. He's been loaned every season, it seems. I thought he was good enough for the first team myself, but obviously Rodgers didn't agree. Why is it going on again? Okay, it's because, yeah. This is the last season of transfers to look at. So they signed 122 in, 69 out. So we're starting to see a bit more of this side being a bit more top heavy. So Jabrovsky coming from Argentinian left back, came in from PSG, still there. He's been some good clubs. Real Madrid, 108 million to PSG, and then 67 to Shakhtar. So they are competing, getting players from the big clubs. That 5-star reputation starting to help now, which is probably what I started to see just before I left. It was that reputation came in. We've got a right winger midfielder from Real Madrid. He's coming from. We signed a few players from this club. I think. I can't remember that name. That striker we did really well. I think he was Nigerian. I think he came from them. And 800k to Real Madrid, 17 million to us. Had a good season. He's going into his second season with them now. Ameth Sal, 37.5, young Italian centre back. I wasn't expecting him to be Italian. He must have another nationality in there somewhere. We don't need to look at that too much. But he's been at Milan for a good few years, and then joined Shakhtar for 37.5. And again, I'm not sure he's better than some of these. He's elite, but some of these technicals, okay, they're not amazing ones that you need necessarily for a centre back. But even some of the mentals, I mean, the physicals are amazing. Well, not amazing, but they're decent. But I think they've let better defenders go, I think. Bruin went to PSG, of course. Seems to be a big buying club from Shakhtar. 47.5, we knew about that anyway, I think. Drouet eventually went to Atletico Madrid, 21.5 million. He did well for Shakhtar in the years that he left. He did get loaned out to Inter. He had a lot of loans when we were there, obviously, but 109 goals total in 23 games. That's not bad. That's over 1 in 2, pretty much. Yeah, so he's done pretty well. And after that, it's a lot of loans. Again, I'm starting to see a lot of names there we don't recognise. A few of the youngsters that have maybe progressed through since. So that's all the transfers looked at. What do we need to look at next? Transfers. The club itself, any new legends? We weren't a legend by the end. We are now. I don't know what's prompted that. We weren't when we were there. Lamar already is. I guess that's just because he's a big name. But we did become a legend. I don't know when that happened. We don't have the history there, unfortunately. But we retired, obviously, so it didn't retain the history. I don't know if I meant to tick that and I forgot. But yeah, we're now a legend. That's fantastic to see. Anyone here? Yeah, don't know some of these. We're looking down the bottom, I guess, for newer ones. Yeah, not really. Brendan Rodgers is favoured. Drouet, Paz, Mohamed, Kvitsov, Alberto. So that's that really. We don't need to look on that too much. We'll have a look at the actual team itself in a minute. Yeah, let's have a look at the players now. What sort of team are they rocking now? So Stephen Gray's still there. The young Polish goalkeeper's still there. He's fantastic, as we probably expected he would be. Hang on, did that just say 6 goals conceded in 20? I mean, that's incredible. 17 clean sheets. I mean, he was doing that for us. 9, 16. Yeah, he was a fantastic goalkeeper. And he's going to be, going further forward, probably the best goalkeeper in the game. Adrian Rodriguez is still there. Defensive midfielder, more trainers now. We were training him as a centre-back. Again, doing okay. Who else do we know? Matvienko's still there, probably a bit old now. 32. Yeah, still doing okay. Paz is still there. Surprised he's still there. He's been rocking in the numbers. He's still very good. And we've got Puyol. He was in our youth team. French player, yeah. He was one I was looking to bring through in a year or two. I think he was 17 when we left, something like that. He's done okay, not amazingly. Anyone else here that springs to mind? Paulinho obviously is still there. What's his sort of numbers? Ticking along very nicely. 3.5 million he cost. I mean, that's pretty much value for money there, isn't it? And that's about it, really. I mean, obviously the numbers for Paulinho didn't look amazing. He was more of a Champions League player for us. That's where he seemed to do it. So we know about the Premier League. It's been Shakhtar the whole time. The league is 9th. I think we went up a little bit before we left. Maybe it was to 9th. I'm not too sure. Yeah, because we jumped over Turkey. I think Turkey are the ones that were nearest. Russia's sort of caught up maybe a bit. I thought we got above Eredivisie, the Jupiler Pro in Belgium, but maybe not. So what was the other thing to look at? Champions League. Now, have they been able to add to the 2 that we added? So we won our 2. Man City did 2, Real Madrid did 2, and then Chelsea have done 1. So I don't know how. If we go back to Shakhtar, let's have a look. If we go to schedule, we go back to where did we finish? If we just do the filters and just do Champions League. We'll look at Super Cup and Club World Cup. Europa League's in there. Did we play in the Europa League maybe at some point? So 22-23, this was the one where we beat Man United 3-1. So the year after, we got knocked out at the first knockout round. Won the World Club Cup again, Boca Juniors in the final. In the group, won the Super Cup against Bayern. And we had Olympiacos, Sporting Lisbon and Liverpool. I mean, we were never getting them sort of groups when I was there. We were getting much more testing ones, but went out to Real Madrid, what's that, 4-2 on aggregate against Real Madrid in the first knockout. So that's very disappointing. The following season, quarter-final, one step further, Real Madrid again, bane of our lives, but it's Lille, Napoli and Porto. Bit tougher. Obviously, we know Lille must have a bit of money and doing quite well because they pinched some players off of us for big money. And then we've got Dortmund, Anderlecht and PSG in the group this time. I don't think we faced them in the group before. It was always in the knockouts. But this time to the semi-final. So Rodgers is progressing much like we did, year on year, round on round. Beat Man United in the first knockout round. Obviously, we beat them in our last final. Then Milan and then Man City. So the two Manchester clubs, but Man City had the better of them, and I think went on to win it that year. Or was it Real Madrid? I'm not too sure. And then this time it was the knockouts again, Chelsea this time, but Real Madrid in the groups, Galatasaray and Porto. So Porto were very big for our early seasons, played them a hell of a lot. And then this season it hasn't been drawn yet. So that's that. And we know about the league. I think that's all we need to look at today. So what I've done, like I say, I've already progressed on another 5 years to the 10 years, created it in a separate save file. So I'm going to save this up now. I'll get this out. And I'll hopefully have time to record the next one now, but I don't think so because I'm heading out shortly. So I'll see you next time for the 10 years on in this Shakhtar world. See you later. Take care.